What's up, YouTube? Zach's back with another attack, and today we are going to be eating the best cereal ever, or so I've heard, Oreos. I've done a few food reviews on my channel before, but this is going to be my first cereal food review, but I love the nostalgia of it all. So, before we get into all that, I just gotta say, why did the Oreo go to the dentist? He needed a new filling.
If you like darkness and hanging with Heartless, then you are not Sora, but you may be looking for a channel to watch. Zach to the future.
Alright guys, here goes nothing. I never actually had these, I don't think, when they were first out, but I've heard so much about them, and of course, I love nostalgia. Between Surge and the Beefy Crunch burrito, I don't see why awesome products have to go away.
Oh wow. So here is the bag. You can see they kind of look like Oreos, I guess. They're way more tiny. And instead of being two cookies with some cream in the middle, they're kind of just little circle cereals with dots of white stuff on them, I guess. I don't really know what that is, but if it tastes good, then it should be good. You know I'm excited to try this.
It smells really good. It smells a lot like Oreos, actually, but tasting it will be the only way to know for sure if it tastes like Oreos. Which at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you want it to taste like Oreos or if you just want it to taste like a bomb cereal. Also gotta say, apparently they just brought this back and it's new. I just got this at Walmart and the only box they had it in is this gigantic one. It does say that it's 19 ounces, which is a pound and 3 ounces. It says new Oreo cereal. I know that at one point Post wasn't able to make this cereal because Oreos was by another company in Nabisco, and I don't know the full story, but now it's back and I get to try it. And what good cereal without a little milk, and what good's Oreos without a little milk? Instead of dipping it in the milk, you dip the milk into the cereal, if you know what I mean.
Oh man, this has been a long time coming because I really have heard a lot about Oreos. And it's like a thing from my childhood. So if I did have it, I really don't remember what they tasted like. But so many people have talked to me about this cereal. And now here it is. And I hope that it's the same thing as before, because a lot of times they'll bring stuff back like this and it'll be a new and improved recipe or whatever, and that's not what we want. We want the original Oreos. We want to try it like it was in childhood. Supposedly. I don't know. This is my first experience, so we'll see if I like it at all. That's interesting. It's definitely doesn't really taste like Oreos. I guess the aftertaste has a little bit of like the taste of the Oreo cookies. Just a little bit, not too much. You can tell that it's not Oreos. I almost wish that they were made from real Oreos and tasted just like an Oreo. There's not really anything Oreo about it. Those little specks of white, they're not real cream. I will say it's pretty good. The milk adds a good layer to it. I haven't tried it dry, but what I can tell from some of the pieces on top still being a little bit dry, the milk really brings out the flavor, and maybe the milk does something to those little sugar crystals or whatever they are, but this is pretty tasty. I can see why it became such a big deal, especially with the Oreo brand being attached to it. That's kind of a huge thing that a lot of people have been drawn to. Anything that comes out Oreo related, people seem to really get behind and love. So all right. I think I've tasted enough to get an opinion of it. Does it taste like Oreo? That was my number one concern, and no, I don't think it really does. I get a tiny, tiny bit of it, but not enough that I would be able to say it tastes like Oreos. If somebody just walked up to me before today and blindly gave me a couple pieces of this, especially if I was blindfolded, I wouldn't be able to say, that tastes like Oreo. And that's what I want out of an Oreo cereal. They've got a Nutter Butter and a Chips Ahoy cereal too. And I'm afraid to try those because it probably won't taste like Nutter Butter and Chips Ahoy. Girl Scout Cookies has a Thin Mint cereal. Is that going to taste like Thin Mints? Because if not, I don't want it. I would rather get a cereal that tastes good and I know what I'm going to get than an Oreo cereal that tastes nothing like Oreos. But that said, just because it doesn't taste exactly like an actual Oreo cookie, it doesn't mean that it's not good. In fact, I said I was good enough to give it a review, and I'm going in for one more bite. And that one more bite, just because it really does taste good. It's a very good cereal. And I'm glad they brought it back. I see why people are crazy about it, besides the brand, because it's got a good taste of its own. And it doesn't taste like Oreos, but it tastes like Oreos, the cereal, I guess. I assume this is pretty close to what it tasted like when they first had it, if not exactly the same. And with the milk, it really brings out the flavors, and it doesn't taste exactly like an Oreo, but it tastes like a cookie. I guess I could easily see a cookie tasting just like this. And because I haven't had a cookie that tastes exactly like this, I'm okay with this being a cookie cereal, especially Oreo. And I think that it works. I'm curious what the milk will taste like if it sits for a little bit. Sometimes the cereal makes the milk into a chocolate milk, or it just sweetens it. You know, honeycombs can make your milk a little sweet in a honey kind of way. So I'm kind of curious how this might affect the milk as it goes. But I think it's very tasty. If you've seen my food reviews before, you know that I like to give things a rating between 0 and 100. I've got to give this a 72.8. And that's a lot of because it doesn't taste like Oreos. I was really hoping that this would taste like an Oreo cookie because it says Oreo-O's on it. And that sets a distinct taste in my mind. So when I eat this cereal, that wasn't the cheapest cereal, to be honest, I expect it to taste like I want it to taste, which in this case is like an Oreo. Since it doesn't, it loses some points. Because it's not the cheapest cereal, it also loses a few points. And because it tastes good, it gains some points back. Because I'm going to eat this box. I can't say that I would buy it again. I might one more time, but it's not going to be my new go-to cereal. My favorite cereal is Frosted Flakes or Life. Life is probably my favorite cereal, but Frosted Flakes are very tasty, very cheap, and you know what you're going to get every time. So while I think these are pretty good, and I'm not disappointed in it fully, I do think that there's better value for my money next time. So you can make your own opinion. If you've got them nostalgia goggles on, this is going to be your jam. If you tasted these before, let me know if they taste the same. Because I don't have these nostalgia goggles, and I don't know if it's exactly the same. So I'm not seeing this in the same way you guys might. So I'm sorry if I'm dissing on your favorite cereal from your youth. I'm just saying that's my opinion. I'm Zach. Don't you do crack, do Oreo-O's, and I will catch you in the future.